Good afternoon, FG fam. We have reached week 5 of the season, and it's FU's final bye week until championship week. So now it's a great time to go over some of what's been going on in the recruiting trail this season. There's plenty of recruits to check out today, so let's jump right into it, starting with this man right here. Quarterback John Johnson may be as immobile as his name is boring, but he has some crazy arm talent. He's a 3-star prospect from Bixby, Oklahoma, who is going under the radar in his home state. Fellow Oklahoma quarterback prospect Cliff Hill from Okmulgee is getting heavily recruited by Oklahoma State, which is leaving Johnson to look outside of his home state despite his desire to stay close to his ailing mother. Well, New Mexico is close enough for him, and we can offer something he's extremely interested in, the opportunity to play early and often. He'd like to be a part of a championship contender, so we've got to watch out for Ole Miss, who is ringing up the rear if they throw a scholarship in the ring, but at least for now, it looks like he's willing to put that aside just for us. He has an accurate cannon for an arm, and we would love to get a gem like Johnson. Tight end William Duckett out of Grove High School in Oklahoma is not the kind of highly touted recruit that would garner a wild amount of interest, but it does seem that Tulsa is in high need of tight ends this season, as they're also going after the other in-state tight end, Josh Massey. They are the main competition for young Duckett here, who we at FU believe is an underrated prospect. He has a great balance of speed, catching, and blocking that would be a vast improvement over any tight end currently on our roster. He's looking for playing time and will surely get that here. He also wants to be close to home, which is where Tulsa has an advantage over us, being just 90 minutes away from his home. It does appear that Tulsa is more interested in Massey, though, so if we throw Duckett a scholarship offer, we feel we can land this large upgrade and improve our offense going into Season 2. One large way to improve our offense as well is to get some big boys up front who can block for whomever the runners and signal callers are. Local JUCO tackle Tim Robinson from Espanola, New Mexico, has some interest in taking his talents to the FBS. He may be a 1-star tackle, but he has a very strong interest in staying in state as the only offensive tackle from New Mexico, making it a two-way race between FU and New Mexico. He's a very strong run blocker and would just need to work on his protection in the passing game to be a complete tackle for us for the next 2 seasons. We expect to be able to lock up Robinson without much of a fight and steal him from the Lobos. The state of New Mexico is also very low on guards this season with just 2 total. Santa Rosa is a couple of hours away from our campus, and the 57th ranked guard in this year's class hails from there. We went after Corey Easley early and often and hold a nice lead over Utah State as the only school to offer him a full ride. Easley is the type of talent we really need on the interior of our offensive line. He's more of a run blocker, but he can still be effective in pass protection with incredible acceleration. He may not be the strongest 6'6", 300-pound guy out there, but he is enough to help take this O-line to the next level. And since he really wants to play early and stay in the state of New Mexico, we definitely have the upper hand in bringing him in. Since New Mexico as a state is very thin on offensive line this year, we had to go to our neighbor state, Texas, for their surplus of offensive line talent. We're going after 4 guards in the state of Texas, but let's talk about our 2 favorites today. Caleb Hubbard from DeSoto High School is extremely underrated by Spark. We are hoping to take advantage of that, but Rice and Tulsa are also fighting hard and offering a full ride to Caleb. He's another guard who is far more suited for run blocking. He can still be adequate in pass protection and is still a raw prospect, but he's far further along than most would think and really wants to stay close to home, hence his 3 school choices. He is also one of the few prospects who cares about academics, which unfortunately FU does not excel at, due to the fact that he's planning on majoring in physics as the valedictorian at DeSoto High School. maybe that could play into his decision, but we're currently his top choice, and there's going to be a lot riding on his visits. Then there's Cedric Miller from San Antonio. He's the highest ranked of the 4 guards we're looking at in Texas, but he's probably not the most ready to start next year. He's a bit raw all the way around and doesn't have the stamina to stay in very long on long methodical drives, which unfortunately FU is predicated on right now. And for this reason, his playing time next year would probably not be to his liking, despite the Fly Guys checking the boxes on being close to home and having a decent enough conference for him. But for those reasons, Duke is leading the race for his commitment by a very small amount. It is a 2-horse race that we hope we can pull ahead in at some point this season, but if not, that will make our pursuit of guys like Easley and Hubbard that much more aggressive. On the defensive side of the ball, the kids who have the best chance to impact our program next season are all from our same neighboring state of Texas. Outside linebacker Calvin Higgins from Jacinto City has the quickness that we are looking for at the position, combined with the ability to break free of blocks and some adequate coverage skills. We'll need him to develop his ability to recognize the offensive play call and his technique when pass rushing. That being said, he just wants a program that's going to give him chances to get on the field, and the Fly Guys can certainly give him that opportunity. He wants a program with tradition in a great conference, which we aren't able to offer him. But if he's really looking to play early and often, this is definitely the place for Calvin. Certainly, it is just FU and Boise State offering him full rides right now. So hopefully we can hold off the team with the better tradition in Boise State, and he will choose the team closer to home with a better chance of getting on the field, but only time will tell. Middle linebacker Stanley Powell is from Mission Bend and is another defender who fits our surge to speed up our defense. He has incredible quickness to go along with solid top-end speed, and this makes him a very solid run defender. When blitzing, he's definitely more of a finesse rusher and has adequate talent in man coverage with a tight end or running back as well. This is an incoming freshman who can be the play caller of the defense immediately and grow with this defense for the next 4 years. We've been very aggressive in getting Powell to commit and hold a heavy lead over North Texas, who has yet to even offer him a scholarship, Baylor and Northwestern. Baylor and Northwestern are not in heavy consideration for Stanley due to their low chance of him playing immediately. So we give him the best combo of playing time and proximity to home, giving us the overall advantage, but look out if North Texas does indeed offer that scholarship. The 31st ranked corner in this class is George Willis from Port Arthur, Texas, and he could really make an impact for our defense. Currently, we're locked in a battle with the in-state New Mexico Lobos, as well as 3 Texas schools in UTSA, SMU, and UTEP. Willis is very fast, he hits hard, and he's an extremely instinctive defender and a great man-to-man cover guy. In fact, his own skills are very good for a freshman as well. This is the kind of 3-star defender who can really make FU a force to be reckoned with in a couple of seasons. Being close to home and playing early is very important to him, as it is with most prospects that we're looking at. You see a theme here. The issue is he is also looking for a party school, which Franquicia is not yet. But it would sure be a party if we got Willis to commit, I can tell you that. Michael Harper from Plainview is an overlooked 3-star corner as well. He's 6'1" and has a great vertical leap. He covers well enough and is very helpful against the run. He doesn't have elite speed, but he has enough speed that with his skills, he could be a very effective slot corner for his time here at FU should he commit. Our chances to get him to commit are very high, actually, as UTSA, North Texas, and Tulsa are our main competition once again, and none of those institutions have offered him a full ride. It's no surprise he wants to play early and close to home with those school choices, and we are looking to lock up this underrated prospect as quickly as possible. It's no secret that Texas has a lot of great athletes every year looking to find a place on an FBS roster. And this year's no different. One such prospect, Alonzo Anderson, is a JUCO junior out of South Lake, Texas, and he's always dreamt of going to Texas A&M, or TCU. but he might need to curb those expectations if he wants to be an FBS ball player. None of those schools seem to be interested in him, and we at FU have a little bit of an idea why. He's listed as an athlete, but to our scouts, he just seems like a wide receiver. He has terrific speed, catches well, runs great routes, and has good release off the line. Now, he was used a lot more as a running back and corner in high school, but at his JUCO, Tarrant County College, he was used more offensively as a running back wide receiver hybrid, kind of like Tavon Austin. It shows because, unfortunately for him, his defensive skills have diminished. However, we are very interested in him at wide receiver here for the next couple of years. If we can bring him in, showing more interest than any other program, we can pair him with guys like Mark Jackson and Antonio de la Cruz and really have a formidable wide receiver core next season. Now, outside of the recruits we mentioned, you always got to have a few reach prospects that you'll want to bring into your program. So, I want to introduce you all to Trey Webb.
Who's to say I'm to blame for all this pain? All the lies magnified, all our mistakes. Should I suffer or escape? I'm paralyzed, terrified from when you said we never let it die. I'm lucky to get out alive. Say what you won't say. We are broken and done. It's over because say what you don't say. We live in silence and love is something that you won't say. Say what you don't say. We live in silence and love is something that you won't say.
So there you see Trey Webb, who is a very underrated prospect. Now, why is that so? Not so much because of his skill set, but more so the fact that he lives in Bristol, Vermont, and not a lot of teams are currently looking in the Vermont area right now. He has a long list of schools that he has always considered to play for, Ohio State being his favorite squad in the NCAA. Clemson and Wisconsin as well. He's always loved Wisconsin due to the way that they breed running backs, Clemson due to the way that they breed wide receivers, and those are schools that he's strongly looking at. He's a very fast player. We, unfortunately, do not really line up with the things that he wants. He wants to go pro. He wants coach stability. We don't know that Coach Alejandro will be here much longer if the team keeps losing games the way they have. But let's get into some highlights here. Trey Webb is, of course, our reach guy. But let's take a look at this top 15 matchup between the Florida State Seminoles and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. It's 13-6 late in the ballgame, but look at this play here. Getting up from a would-be tackle and getting into the end zone is Chris Tyree for 21 yards. A wonderful play. It ends up getting Notre Dame a 23-6 win. In a big ACC battle, number 16 Miami took on number 24 Wake Forest on the road. Wake Forest, look at this, Sam Hartman with a big throw downfield to Jamal Banks for 31 yards. Hartman would then finish the drive with this big 2-yard touchdown run, running over the defense. Now, Miami has a chance late in this ball game, 5:16 to play. There is an interception, broken tackle by the DB, and taking it all the way to the house. Reservations for 6 to Chili's, please. Wake Forest feeling really good. Tyler Van Dyke playing really bad at quarterback, so what's the remedy there? Well, get the backup in as he throws a touchdown pass to Keyshawn Smith. There's Jake Garcia, 2 for 2 with a touchdown in his time, but the 2-point conversion is no good, and Wake Forest is able to recover the onside kick from Miami and run out the clock to secure this small upset at home against a better-ranked team. In the Sun Belt Game of the Week at Centennial Bank Stadium in Arkansas, it was Arkansas State hosting Coastal Carolina. We know Coastal's a very talented team in our Sun Belt Conference, and Grayson McCall, probably the best quarterback in the conference, with a 9-yard touchdown run. They held a 7-point lead, got a big sack to make it 3rd and 13 at the end of this game. Arkansas State had to go for it on 4th down, and another sack of Lane Hatcher. That was Travis Geyer Jr., and Coastal does come away with a 13-6 win. So, big episode today as Corey Easley and Tim Robinson do commit in today's episode, our first 2 commits in team history. And that is great to see. A couple of big boys up front. We need those linemen. Looking at the scores across the country, top 25 scores. Kentucky with an upset over Florida. So we did have some upsets out there across the country. North Carolina blanking Virginia, though. No upset there. Look at Cal. The upset over Arizona State. Not just an upset, a 63-7 upset. USC over Oregon as they retain their ranking. Oklahoma State as well. Ole Miss comes close to knocking off Bama, but it just doesn't happen. Western Kentucky over ULM. Texas State over Georgia Southern. Obviously Coastal with the win. Troy beat App State, and Georgia State over South Alabama to round out all of our conference scores. We got a big schedule ahead next week. I believe we'll be taking a look at Utah, USC. We'll probably be taking a look at a couple of other games throughout as well. North Carolina, Notre Dame is a big-time top 10 ACC matchup, so we'll probably take a look at that one as well. So I hope you guys are excited for that. As far as the Sun Belt goes and our Fly Guys, we are going to be taking on Oregon next week. And they're no longer ranked. They're 2-1. They're having just lost to USC. So they're going to be pretty hungry for a win. And that may not bode well for us, as Oregon's a very, very good team. And, of course, Lee Corso is not going to be going with us. But if you guys did enjoy today's recruiting special and episode, make sure you go ahead and drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you happen to be new to the channel and want some more Dynasty and franchise content, because that's what we provide here. Check out the links in the description below to my Discord and my Twitch if you want to come and connect with the community outside of just YouTube. It's a great community we're building. You would love to be a part of it, and come see me live on Twitch. That is always a fun time as well. If you guys made it to the end of the video, you're the real MVP, and go ahead and put Trey Webb in the comments section below so that I know you made it to the end of this video. Thank you guys so very much, and if you want to see some more franchise, click right here to see some more franchise.
I feel you back somehow.